Do I press the button like this?
I think
Okay,
I can
great.
hear you. You're good.
All right. I first want
Everybody
to...
should leave the buttons alone.
I don't know how it works. Good evening, Chairman Craven. You have demonstrated tonight a wonderful sense of equanimity, and
I'm one of 7 kids. I had to.
All right. And I admire that, and Representative Shanley as well, when you took over. Wow, you guys have really rocked tonight in keeping us going.
Wait till you hear.
Okay, everyone
Representative
here.
McAtee.
Everyone here. Okay. My name is Diane Newman, and I've lived in Providence for more than 30 years. I'm here as a volunteer with the Women's Fund of Rhode Island, as well as a mother, wife, daughter, grandmother, etc. And I want to speak in favor of House Bill 5127 and in opposition to 5114, 5198, and 5199. My goal is to share a brief personal story. Carole, my best and closest friend from 7th grade through adulthood, nearly died from what was at that time an illegal abortion when she was in her early 20s. Our birthdays are 12 days apart. We were very close from kids, and I'm here and she's not. She was single, working at her first post-college job, became pregnant with her boyfriend of 2 years shortly before they broke up due to his infidelity, and she could not go to her parents for his help because she feared their severe disapproval. So as her best friend, even though it meant a long train ride to New York, where at that time abortion was also illegal, I went and helped her through the ordeal. On the evening following her procedure, which took place in the early afternoon, her pain and the amount of bleeding was fearsome. We lacked experience. We didn't know if something had gone terribly wrong or if this was par for the course. When the bleeding had not completely stopped by the next morning and Carole was still experiencing strong cramping and pain, she reluctantly agreed to go with me to the emergency room at the nearby hospital. Fortunately, they were able to stop the bleeding, and she had to stay in the hospital for 2 days, which meant all kinds of stories and lies and fibs to her mother. But eventually, she was able to return to her apartment and resumed her life. I almost lost my best friend. Carole married several years later, gave birth to 3 healthy children, earned a master's degree in education, and worked as a public school reading specialist for over 20 years. Unfortunately, Carole died of breast cancer about 15 years ago. She never told her parents about the abortion, and keeping that big secret for so many years was hard on her relationship with them. Personally, I'll never forget the pain and the blood and the fear and the anguish that Carole suffered from undergoing an illegal abortion. Please, let's not move backward and return to the bad old days. There's a footnote to my story. After 5 years of marriage, my husband and I were ready to start our family. But after 2 years of trying, I couldn't conceive. So we went through all of the normal things that infertility specialists think are wonderful opportunities, but really they're awful. Taking the temperature, the ovulatory calendars, and all this stuff. Eventually, the test resulted in a diagnosis of what was then called Stein-Leventhal syndrome, and we eventually chose to create our family through adoption. One of the other people who was on the previous group also spoke about being adopted. Well, my kids are both adopted, and there's an inherent conflict in this story. My husband and I benefited from the situation of a woman who carried her fetus to term and made the difficult decision to give up her newborn for adoption, making it possible for us to have a family. Yet despite the extreme joy of our children have brought us and the love in our family, I have concluded that each of us has the right and ability to make her own choice consistent with her own physical, mental, and social health. With our own children in mind, and recognizing that we wouldn't have had that family if the birth mothers of those two children had chosen abortion. We still advocate in favor of choice.
Thank you. Thank you.